Hey there, visitor. To celebrate the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, a spectacle of a movie, I made this video to appreciate the writing that went into developing the personality of this version of Godzilla that we were all so excited to see it on the big screen once again. If you are a Godzilla fan, you probably know that our beloved Big G in the last 66 years has shown up in different media with different personalities. From his horror of a debut in 1954 Godzilla to his portrayal in Godzilla vs. Megalon, to the time he killed all the Greek gods like goddamn Kratos. But that was in the comics. Personally, I have been watching Godzilla movies since 2002, and barring a few with very questionable reviews, I have watched them all, from Ghidorah the three-headed monster to Shin Godzilla. But it was the 2014 Godzilla that has been my favorite ever since I saw that reptilian behemoth alive in the big screen. Not just because of the adaptation, the character design and the story arc, but the personality that the movie makers were able to give this iteration of the Big G. He is not just a giant rampaging across human civilization, stamping on puny humans, leveling up city blocks. There is depth to his character, there is gravity to his behavior, and lessons to be learned about the personality of this apex alpha predator. Before we get started, I must tell you that this is not a movie review or a theory video. This is just a fan video. I am making this video in this insignificant of a YouTube channel that I created last week to show my admiration towards this majestic titan and his personality. But this video will contain spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong, and if you haven't watched the movie yet, consider yourself warned. So without further ado, let's begin. The plot of Godzilla vs. Kong begins with a slumbering ape who has been hitting the gym every day since 1944. He is in the Monarch Outpost 33, a containment site in the Skull Island inside a protective dome designed to simulate his habitat and to shield him from an atomic reptile that needs no introduction. He is monitored by this sexy doctor, and he makes this sweet little friend. Kong doesn't seem happy about being contained, but he is chilling, so no worries for now, I guess. We also learn that 3 years have passed since the Mega Titan clash between Gojira and the Monster Zero himself, and this brings us to the first trait of an apex personality: minding your own business. After taking the crown of King of the Monsters back from Ghidorah, Godzilla wasn't there to pose for photos, Godzilla wasn't there to entertain the paparazzis, nor was he there to give an occasional reminder that he was around. He restored the balance, and well, that's it. He left humanity alone to do their own thing, and he minded his own freaking business. And really, that's what a person with an apex personality would do. They neither need constant validation about their worth and accomplishments, nor do they interfere in somebody else's shit, unless they have equal stature and rivalry. If you as a person have the gravity of personality this strong, you would rather spend your time being the best version of yourself than tweeting why Superman should be cancelled for dating Cara Dune 10 years ago. Your personality would center around the structure of evolve, adapt, dominate, an idea the MonsterVerse has emphasized repeatedly. During the first 10 minutes, we also get to know that this is the same amount of time, 3 years, that there haven't been any substantiated Titan sightings until Godzilla himself shows up to attack an Apex cybernetics facility, which brings us to the second trait: react only when necessary. Well, the movie makes it pretty clear. Godzilla only attacks when provoked, as should a person who is at the top of the food chain, be it a profession or a field of study or a corporate ladder. If you are as good as you think you are, and you are actually at the top of the pyramid, reacting to futile things like posting hate speech about a particular subject or a particular community is almost a waste of time. Think about it from the perspective of Godzilla himself. In this scene from the trailers, Godzilla is attacking Apex Cybernetics because he sensed something. That something is later revealed to be the core of what would become Mechagodzilla. Apex, the organization under this guy, was trying to create this mecha because this guy basically wanted to restore humanity's status to the top of the food chain by defeating Godzilla. The severed head of Ghidorah formed the basis of the supercomputer that was used to operate this giant. Godzilla sensed this creation and what it would probably turn out to be, which at this point in the movie, humans have no clue about. And that brings us to this trait of Godzilla's personality. He might have an attitude of a saint when it comes to most things, but he becomes aggressive when he is challenged and won't go down without a fight. As a person, when you react to something, violently or otherwise, you should also see if it is a threat to you or something that you stand for. Godzilla attacked because he sensed a rival that can unfairly replace him and upset the balance of Earth. So the question here is, What makes you react? Is it as big as global warming and eventual demise of humanity? Or is it as small as a joke made by the cool, awesome and brilliant MatPat about the gender fluidity of people who identify themselves as Apache attack helicopters? The choice is always yours, my friend. So with that in mind, let's move on to the next one. Have a warrior's conduct. Now we are coming to the awesome bits. But this is where you need to know some of the plot points to understand what I'm talking about. You see, Kong was safe inside Monarch's protection. But this guy convinces this lady that this monkey needs to go to this place where one of the entrances to Hollow Earth is. And he does it because this guy and this guy convince him that this guy is a threat to these guys and that they need the primal energy source of this place that powers up these titans. So that's how we get to the first round of Godzilla vs Kong. This one goes to Godzilla. Kong is almost drowned and it was only with the help of the humans that he was able to get out of the water and barely survive. But when Godzilla comes back at him once again, the humans do what Godzilla loves the most. They turned off the engines of the ships and lowered ammunition to turn on Godzilla. To show that they are submitting to his dominance. And as always, Godzilla lives. He couldn't care less. He could have easily destroyed that giant monkey, but he accepted his defeat and let everybody go, echoing that despite being an animal, he still stands with honor among titans. The warrior attitude of Godzilla is given more strength when Kong gets his ass handed to him after the second round, where he barely managed to squeeze in a temporary victory with the help of the battle axe that we saw in the trailers. But Godzilla still shows mercy. He doesn't kill Kong because he's not a mindless killer. Kong was beaten, that means Godzilla proved his dominance over this alpha, and Kong was never exactly a threat to the balance anyway. I gotta tell you guys, this gives me the chills as I see it. Damn, the motivation of this Godzilla was so clear, so well written. You can't go without appreciating it. He could have clearly finished the job there, okay? But that would have been just overkill. That wasn't necessary. He had to deal with something bigger. And I know I'm talking about a fictional character here, but seriously, the heights of his personality is worthy of envy. And if you want to have an apex personality that towers over even the alpha males, you gotta be aggressive, you gotta be driven, but at the same time be composed and compassionate when necessary. You can say that you have this trait of an apex personality if winning the war is more important to you than defeating or killing more enemies. With that out of the line, let's move on to the last trait. Be bigger. In the movie, after Kong gets KO'd, Godzilla confronts the monstrosity created by mankind, who by this point in the movie has already gained his own consciousness and has already killed this guy and probably killed this guy as well. We don't exactly get to see him dead. And man, this version of Mechagodzilla is the best version of it to appear in any form of media. So Godzilla gets thrown around like a rubber doll here. Godzilla is scarred, burned, and is almost killed by Mechagodzilla. And for the first time, you see this colossal titan getting scared, but is saved at the key moment by none other than our beast titan himself, who joins the fight at the request of this girl, by the way. But that wasn't enough. Only when Godzilla aids Kong by charging up Kong's axe with his atomic breath, Kong was able to chop off Mechagodzilla into metallic bits. And after all this is done and dusted, kind of guess what Godzilla does? He simply leaves and minds his own freaking business. He doesn't give a shit about anything. I mean, this threat was created by mankind and he could have lashed out on everybody else around. And Kong was kind of acting like an annoying teenager, almost getting ready to fight Godzilla once again. But ultimately Kong did let the axe go and Godzilla was like, I hope you learn to listen. I gotta go swim around and do my giant lizard thingies. And yeah, that makes sense. He is big and so will the concerns that bother him or move him. With the balance restored and no true threat to his position, he again had no point being aggressive or hostile to anyone left standing. His work was done and it was probably his time to go grab a beer and watch the Snyder's Cut. So the question here is, to my viewer, what are the things that bother you? What are the things that move you? Is your ego so fragile that it breaks every time your neighbor farts? Or is it as strong as the skeleton of Wolverine himself? If you truly wish to have an apex personality, you need to be bigger, not just in size, but as a person. Know not to pick fights with people minding their own business. Know not to bully somebody who's physically weaker than you. Know to forgive people for small things that don't matter much in the grand scale of the universe. And if you happen to have a bigger size and a bigger personality, then most likely King Bezos and Elon Musk are the only people standing in your way to world domination. And I know what you must be saying. Hey, you got all that from a giant monster movie? Chill out, man. And my viewer, yes, that is true. We fans, we all express our love and appreciation in the ways that we can. May it be a simple social media post, or may it be a video about the personality of a fictional nuclear giant on a YouTube channel made for social commentary. But that's not the point. The point is that we share something in common, something that we can talk about despite our personal differences and our choices. This was a movie that any casual viewer can sit and enjoy, and is something that the long-lasting fans of this franchise can cherish. You can enjoy the awesome fighting scenes as well as multiple throwbacks to the original King Kong story arc where he climbs a tall building just before his fall, as well as the original King Kong vs Godzilla where Kong shoves a tree in Godzilla's mouth. The movie makers did keep their promise about deciding a clear-cut winner of that battle while not disappointing the Kong fans as well. A satisfying ending that both fan bases can truly appreciate. That being said, hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this video, hit the dislike if you hated this video for some reason. In any case, do make sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. You can support this channel by hitting that red rectangular shape that says subscribe. It will cost you nothing at all, but would mean a lot to me and for this channel. And as always, thanks for watching.